No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin It Raw Podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden, Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-host this evening. She is host of the She Leads Showcase, Inside the Mind of, In the Crowd, and Storytime with Ms. Katie Kinzy, baby.
Baby.
Hello.
And our special guest host this evening, all the way over from the Get Yo podcast. Also, one of them is part of Marks with Mikes. It is your boy Just and Daddy Delgado, the Salt and Spitter Swallow SES Vince, who's been trying to cuck me all year with the Get Yo podcast, but it's not working.
Appreciate that. Happy holidays.
Was that my intro too?
That was your intro, yes. Hi.
Okay.
Daddy's home.
It's better when Randy says it.
True.
I got that one too, I think.
You don't have to.
I'm irresponsibly high
Daddy
eating
will.
tacos and queso.
Daddy's back.
So this is our year-end review, ladies and gentlemen. So this is how it's going to work. We cut a little bit of time together. We'll give you some spits or swallows from the week. I honestly only have one. And Vince also has the same one, so it is what it is. It's the only reason we really set aside this time was to talk about it specifically. But we're just gonna we got some categories here to help us go through the year in review. Now, mind you, this is not an award show because we have great friends who do award shows. The She Leads Showcase will be doing an award show on Thursday that you guys can go check out and enjoy. 2 weeks. On Thursday that you guys can go and enjoy and check out. And you guys should go check out her Google Docs and vote and do all that. Young Kings Wrestling, who we love, doing an award show. And we're not trying to copy our friends or do what they're doing. However, what I did do is all of the categories that we're going to do where we talk about our favorite things from this year are based off awards from the AVN Awards. So as we go through, the categories are all based off AVN Awards, and then we're just going to talk about our favorite things throughout the year in that way. And I'll break them down a little bit. I'll be like, all right, so this and this is what this really is. As we go through them, it'll be a good time. But as we always start, Katie, any news or rumors?
Why, yes. A whole post-it note's worth of news and rumors, actually.
Oh, post-it notes.
Well, yeah, because ones I don't talk about last week and I talk about on She Lead, I put on here, and then new ones, and then it's all this whole thing. Mark Henry said that A&E will make a documentary and release a documentary about his life in January 2024. Don't know exactly what, but that sounds fun.
I'm more curious in what he's been doing for like the last 5 years.
Right.
Because he used to be the Rampage. It's time for the main event, and then he just disappeared. I'm assuming he's still collecting a check.
Sometimes,
yeah, but not the way he.
Not the
used to.
same.
That's not why I thought we were bringing him in either over there at AEW.
Right.
They just do that. So
listen, I don't think that's why where anyone thought he was going over there for.
Sexual chocolate and other strongman shit.
By the way, I think Maxie heard that we're doing a rear end review, and so she just decided to show her rear end on camera. So I apologize for her.
I always like anus.
Well, I suppose, slight spoiler before we get into Katie stuff, we are giving out one award, and that is the best ass of 2023 because this is the Smackin It Raw Podcast. And here's the thing: I have a list of people that I have, in contention. this is not just best female ass. This is best ass in wrestling in general. So,
Yes.
you know, you can pick whoever you want. You can pick Billy Gunn. You can pick Sonny Kiss. You can pick whoever you want, each individually, and we'll debate and we'll come to a consensus of who had the best ass of 2023.
F2.
I've got like 12. So
unfortunately,
Hey, I
want to give an honorable mention to one specific ass that I don't think is going to be talked about because it wasn't showcased this year, and that my friends is Titus O'Neil. That dude is thick back there, and unfortunately, we don't get a chance to see that anymore. So shout out to Titus.
Of the dog.
all right, Katie, back to news and rumors.
Thank you so much. Kushida signs with TNA, and they're just racking up people basically to when they restart and rebrand / go back to their old thing. Starting at whatever pay-per-view is in January. So I might watch TNA. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Probably not. But we can hope, we can dream.
I watch TNA every night before I go to bed.
I hate you so much.
Really? What
Tits and
color?
ass. All colors. I don't discriminate.
Nice. I like that. See, I that was a pass. That was an alley oop. Slam dunked it.
There you go, sis. Speaking of which, go ahead and assist our boy Jaylan by copying some merch.
That's what my boner is, Will. Hard to kill.
Hard to kill.
Like Steven Seagal.
Go ahead, Katie.
Jesus fucking Christ, I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
I have some medicine for that. I have some medicine for that.
Shut up.
He is a
Jesus.
medical professional.
Warner Brothers Discovery, who may or may not be going broke, might be picking up Monday Night Raw come October 2024. They are the only show in the WWE branch right now that does not have a home, quote unquote, for next year after their deal is done with USA for them. So it might be Tony Khan. Tony Khan's deal is done a little bit before theirs is done, so the whole thing, I don't know.
They might be going broke.
That's what I keep seeing, and I don't necessarily understand it all because I don't know business, I don't know numbers, I also don't give a shit enough to know. Yes, Justin?
I think they're just losing a good amount of money. I don't think they're going broke. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, they're not going
all the revenue they would get from like past sponsors and everything, they're probably losing that. But in terms of actual money, I think they're fine.
They're not going like Toys R Us broke.
I mean, they're
Yes,
back.
that's a good point.
They're inside of Macy's now, so
Yeah, but it's not the fucking same. So that's
maybe
it.
they'll be inside TNA venues now. Maybe that's
You know,
it'll be the show within the show.
Warner Brothers Discovery screwed Warner Brothers Discovery. They had a very viable yet very shitty wrestling program that they did not care about, and they sold it to Vince McMahon for pennies on the fucking dollar. And now here they are crawling back to Vince McMahon with large sums of money, just trying to get his show back on their network all these years later, and that's on them. 21, well, I guess next year, 22 years later.
Preach.
Dwayne is going to be in a new A24 movie about Mark Kerr, who was a 2-time UFC heavyweight tournament champion. And I do love the fact that A24 is kind of taking up the mantle of both horror and wrestling movies because they're the same company that created the Iron Claw, which I will be seeing next Saturday, and I'm very excited to cry into my popcorn by myself. In the theater.
And the Slurpee. Don't forget the Slurpee.
Justin knows. My blue
Did you
eyes.
see Danhausen thanked Zac Efron for saving him?
I did. I love that man so much. Danhausen
That's what
forever.
happens when you're all in together.
Jesus Christ.
We're all in this together, guys. We're all in this together. Kenny Omega will be out indefinitely because he, I guess, had what is it? It's diverticulitis.
Ooh.
I saw the weirdest exchange where like somebody was giving Kenny props for battling through diverticulitis and everything he's done. And then
Mhm.
somebody said, yeah, except when he was talking all that shit about Brock when Brock had diverticulitis. And then
Mhm.
Kenny started talking about like the AEW video game in response to that. I'm assuming he meant to respond to a different comment. I don't know, but I'm like, what does Brock Lesnar have to do with what you did with the AEW video game or anything?
Yeah,
Well, he
I was
called
so
Brock-
confused.
He called the F5 in the game diverticulitis.
Oh, okay.
I remember
Yeah.
we talked about that here, and then you just fucking cracked up because of it.
I did.
They're just
Yeah.
trolls.
Yeah, but like, so he's
Diverdiculitis?
out.
Like this?
Stop it.
What?
Diverticulitis. Write that down.
No, I don't even know how that would. No. Anyways,
It was Diver Dick. You like this? Anyway, continue,
he
Katie.
said just a bunch of nothing. Charlotte is also going to be out for 9 months, they said, because of her knee injury from last week. And I saw that fall, and Jesus Christ, that was nasty. She landed on like her leg, hit like the top rope, and then she like landed on her neck. And it was a whole thing. But that's why they had to call the match. So she'll be out, so she won't be back until like Survivor Series ish next year.
Okay.
That's tough.
I mean, that does suck. Like,
Speedy
especially
recovery
knee
for
injuries.
Charlotte.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Look, we're
Is
from
this
Chicago.
sympathy for Charlotte that I'm seeing from Katie Kinsey?
I was
Bebe?
just gonna say.
No. If it's injury related, I always feel bad. Like that sucks. I might not like her in-ring shit, but like, still, that's.
I expected the level of petty from you that I give, where you're like, I hate to see somebody get injured, but the fact that she's not going to be in the fucking title picture of the Survivor Series doesn't bother me a bit. Like, that's what I was expecting.
I mean, I won't see it at WrestleMania.
Listen, there's good and bad news with it. Like, you can feel sorry for her, but then also relish in the fact that she's not going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't care that she's not in WrestleMania. Like, if she was there, she was there. I don't really quite care, but I'm just glad she's not there to possibly win the Royal Rumble. Like Will was.
She wasn't gonna win.
No,
Tommy,
she wasn't going to. But
Tommy, that's probably the creepiest thing you've ever sent in DMs or
just
in
a pair
chat.
of eyes.
Why? I
The
mean,
last
feels like
thing
everyone's watching. So.
I have.
the world is watching, guys.
The thing that people uproars. Liv Morgan was arrested in Florida for a traffic stop and was possession of marijuana, and it was like less than 20 grams, and possession of like a vape pen kind of thing. And she's bailed out. She's not in jail. She had a mug shot. It went around. The amount of people.
Listen,
my favorite thing about it is people being like, "This is how me in the courtroom defending Liv Morgan." Public Enemies tweeted the NWA movie and was like, "Hey, Dre, I got something to say." And then O'Shea Jackson Jr. responded to it. It was the coolest interaction I've ever seen in my entire life. So that was fucking cool for them because they might get him on their pod, and that's fucking cool for them if they can. But it's just, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing here? She's
crazy.
fine.
She is fine. Did you see that mugshot? Fuck,
Shut
God
up.
damn it.
Drop the soap.
I showed Kate, and Kate's like, she won the fucking genetic lottery. Like, who looks that good in the fucking mugshot?
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She's beautiful.
Crazy.
Plus, like, does this surprise anybody? I mean, Liv Morgan's a real one,
Well, so what I heard was that it wasn't even her shit. Somebody just left it in her car, and regardless, WWE doesn't really give a fuck. I've also seen all of the like, Randy came back buff, AJ came back buff. Everyone's like, Triple H isn't testing for drugs anymore. Everyone's on the juice, blah, 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 blah. Like, insane shit today. Like,
They are too old to be on the juice. They don't care.
They're family, man. They're not on the Jews. Come on.
Alan is a family man.
yeah,
He
no
does-
shit.
He's
He's a Southern
He just
boy
came back
with
jacked.
Southern pride. He ain't about that.
Y'all are
The funny
just
thing I
jealous you
saw-
can't get swole like me, AJ, and Randy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mhm.
Sorry. The funny thing I saw is that somebody made a rendering of Liv Morgan on the new 2K game in the jail costume, in the jail suit. So that's the one. I was like, okay, that's good. That's something different, you know.
I did see some other people like doing like the Akon Locked Up like background song
Yeah,
to
I
it.
saw that a lot. Yeah.
People also saying this is going to be Liv Morgan's WrestleMania entrance, and it's just literally Dom's WrestleMania entrance from this past year, where he's like getting locked up and being escorted by the cops. I also saw like Kane when he was like chained up back in the day after he assaulted Jim Ross. So
absolutely terrible. You're all terrible people.
That's all for news and rumors. Then I want to thank everyone who's joining us live, whether you are joining us at youtube.com/creation world, where if you like, subscribe, and comment, Katie, what does that do?
Boosts the algorithm and helps find new listeners.
And why do I want new listeners, Katie?
Because, Matthew, you're a whore.
You haven't been able to call me that in almost a week.
I know. It feels great.
She is correct. I am a whore, ladies and gentlemen. I am a whore for your likes, for your views, for your listens. I want you to share me with everyone you care about and most of the people you don't. If you don't like them, force them to listen to me. Turn me up in your cars so that they can hear me talking and saying stupid shit as loud as possible next to you. Annoy people with me so they come, they like, they subscribe, and they enjoy me as much as you do. Yeah. That is why we are here. That is what I want. And while you do that, I want you to flick the bean for me, about me specifically. Hit that notification bell. Get notified every time we go live Monday through Friday for the Creation Conversation. Next week is the last week of the Creation Conversation for the year. We will not be back until the 8th of January after next week. So the 22nd is our last show, and then we are on hiatus till the 8th of January. This is the last episode of Smackin' It Raw for 2023. We will be back January 6th because that's a fucking Saturday and it sucks. But like, also, I don't want to take 3 weeks off. So it is what it is. We're doing it. But if you like, subscribe, and comment, and then you hit that notification bell and get notified every time we go live, you'll remember when we come back in 2 weeks. And tomorrow night, Katie is joining me and Will. We're talking Christmas-themed horror movies, specifically Black Christmas, and that will be the last getting off of 2023 until January 7th, because coincidentally, it's 2 weeks out, whatever.
Math.
Yeah, it works. So please check all of that out. Also, you guys can watch us live at pornhub.com/model/creation world, or if you're watching us live now, you can check us out at twitch.tv/creation world, where it is, cool if you guys have Amazon Prime, if you're getting those gifts in and all that shit, to link your Twitch account to your Prime account because you have Prime Gaming and get a free sub. And give me that free sub. I'm talking like I need you guys sitting on my lap telling me you were a good girl all year. All right, that's what I need. I'm here to make wishes come true on Twitch, and all I need is a sub for that. So please do that. I would appreciate it, and it costs you absolutely nothing. It's free to you to come sit on Santa's lap and tell him what you want for the year. You okay, Katie?
I can't stand you.
I was honestly going to make that joke about when we were talking about your new glasses in the pre-show, and she was like, "Oh, did you get new glasses?" I'm like, "Do you have to sit on an old man's lap and tell him you were a good girl this year to get those?" Or,
oh my god!
But then that didn't happen, so I reworked it here. Because it's the holiday season. That's what we're here for. But, ladies and gentlemen, with all of that said, please go sub to the Twitch. Please go check us out on YouTube. Please go check us out on Pornhub. It's my favorite fucking place for you to watch us. Let's do our preliminary spits and swallows for this week, and then we'll get into all of our favorite shit for the year. Vince.
Yeah.
This was your request.
Yeah.
This was you. You wanted this. You didn't, you cheat on me with Justin all the fucking time, all year long. You've been going behind my back, not even sneakily. Made yourself part of Get Show, and you guys talked about it on the Get Show podcast because I listen. I do. I know what's going on.
Did you listen to this week's episode?
Listen, I just want to let you know you're not cucking me. You're just a hot wife. I'm okay with you going over there and doing it. I really am.
It's polyamorous. It's polyamorous. You know?
So anyway, Please spit or swallow, Vince.
Look, man, like we had to talk about this because the segment was just so fucking hot. I'm talking about CM Punk officially signing as a Raw member of the roster with Adam Pearce, making his intentions known that he wants to be in the Royal Rumble. He gets cut off by Mr. Sethery Rollins. He comes out, they go back and forth. Seth probably had the promo of the year, probably the promo of his career, spitting straight facts. You know, CM Punk, when he was in AEW, he would always like to say, "Tell me when I'm telling lies." Seth wasn't saying a single lie, and it was very akin to the Hangman Adam Page promo where he's talking about how like, oh, you're a hypocrite, you're a phony, you're fake, you're just here for yourself, you're selfish. I'm here to protect AEW, or in Seth's case, I'm protecting WWE from people like you. Yes.
Pause. So I saw a lot of back and forth. Obviously, you have the AEW diehards shitting on this because it's so much. What else was Seth Rollins supposed to come out and say or do, ladies and gentlemen? He called CM Punk a cancer, said, I don't want this guy back here. He shows up. He's not really graciously coming back, but kind of mockingly being gracious about coming back and all of this, calling this place his home. What else was Seth, like, what did you want Seth to say? How else was he going to handle this situation?
Yeah.
It was very, very similar. And honestly, I felt it more between Seth and Punk than I did Hangman and Punk.
Because it makes more sense with it. The way that the promo was done, it makes more sense coming from Seth. Because yes, it was similar to Hangman's, of course, because why not? But like Punk was only there for like a year and a cup of tea, maybe at that time. That like this one is like in your soul, because Seth is like, nah, you were fucking gone. Talk shit. I'm here. I've been here. I feel you definitely feel it more with Phil and Seth, because it makes more sense.
What was great about
better
it?
Shit than what? Hold on. Better shit than what? Because that was probably the best thing that happened all week, was that whole interaction between Seth and Punk.
Listen, William. Everyone has their own opinions, but going back to the subject at hand, there's history there with Seth Rollins and CM Punk also as well. Like they actually had a moment down in NXT while Seth Rollins was the NXT champion and Punk was the WWE champion, and they kind of had like this like passing of the guard. Seth Rollins was introduced as like people that were being paid muscle for CM Punk during his heel run versus Ryback, so there's history there. The last WWE match that CM Punk had was the Royal Rumble in 2014. And he started the Rumble. Guess who he started it with? Seth freaking Rollins. There's history there. Obviously, they had their little Twitter beef when Punk showed up on WWE Backstage on Fox or FS1 or whatever.
Yeah,
then what? What? I'm not even paying attention to Will anymore.
Well, he said it's predictable as a horror movie. And first off, we've talked about how predictability in wrestling can be good or can be bad. Not all predictability is bad. Personally, I don't believe this predictability was bad. And as far as letting it breathe, I mean, Seth had the opportunity the Monday, that Punk showed up, didn't do anything. Punk went to SmackDown. He didn't come out and do anything. Now he's signing here. He's on his show. It's official. Like, we had a week ish of nothing before this all happened.
He showed up at Survivor Series. Between Survivor Series and now, it's been what, 3 weeks now, give or take. That's been the hottest. That's been the hottest interaction thing that's came out of Survivor Series. Every time CM Punk comes out, he gets the Seth Rollins song sang to him. When Seth Rollins comes out, whether it's a live show, Raw, or what have you, he gets CM Punk chants. You kind of have to address it. You can't just sit there like it, because the crowd is hot for it. And granted, Will doesn't like spice on his enchiladas, but we do here. And this is the spiciest of spices you can add to our wrestling enchiladas.
Yeah, green and red sauce.
There you go. But yeah, no, it
Whoa.
was great. It made more sense, like you guys were saying, with Seth Rollins. He's actually trying to defend WWE. He's a homer for WWE. Over with AEW, Hangman and Page, it just kind of seemed like his hatred for Punk just kind of came out of nowhere. At least with Seth, you kind of feel it and know it from the jump.
Well,
And
I mean, Hangman also did high key hate Phil, so that's probably
He hated Phil for Colt Cabana. Not
Yeah.
because he hated
that's what I'm
Phil.
saying. He said his hatred kind of came out of nowhere. I was just saying he hates Phil.
It's hate by proxy.
yeah, no,
Still
but I
hate.
meant like it came out of nowhere on AEW television, and that was my big issue with it. Remember, I kept saying, I was like, what the fuck is this hate boner that Hangman Page has over Punk? And then he didn't even do shit with Colt Cabana. Like, they had their own fucking beef. You cannot like a person, but as the professional, as the champion of your promotion, you need to put business aside. What did Roman Reigns said? I hate the guy. I don't like him. But if we can do business, I'll put personal feelings aside. What has Seth Rollins said as well? I don't like the guy, but I would put personal feelings aside to make it to conduct business.
Something like that. I think he said we're all professionals here, and you don't have to worry about that shit, which I kind of love. But
I love those comments. Professionals, you know.
I just think that they just needed to find some way to just start the feud, regardless of the promo was going to be good or bad or mid or whatever. They just need a starting point.
Especially because
this is what
it's
it
all
was.
based.
It's just a
It's
starting
all
point.
based off the Royal Rumble. Because like we're telling multiple stories here. Like we're telling the story of CM Punk wanting to win the Rumble to get to Seth. We're also telling the story of CM Punk and Cody Rhodes being in the Rumble, both having the same goal, with Cody going to Roman and Punk going to Seth, and them getting in each other's way. And that's going to play out. Like, we're setting the Rumble up really beautifully here. Because honestly, I don't know who's going to win the fucking Royal Rumble. You have so many viable contenders.
Great. That's so great because
near the top.
Jesus.
No, I know who's going to win. It's going to be Ivar. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, he's been going off on Raw. I don't even like the Viking Raiders, but he's been doing his thing.
No, but I will say, just to kind of like irradiate what I think is that, like, it's kind of like, you know, Will, when he's a chef, you know, how you cook, you know, you cook with oil, whether it be olive oil, vegetable oil, avocado oil, whatever oil is your
corn
choice.
oil.
There has to be a way you start the cooking process first. So, you know, no matter how you like it, you just gotta start off at a way, you know.
Isn't Sammy hurt?
PC. Well, he's just taking time off. I don't know if he's necessarily hurt, but he was granted time off.
Look at that headshot, boy.
But I mean,
I was that profile.
Shout out to TC for popping in. But you look at Randy Orton, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, LA Knight, all these guys.
Yeah.
Gunther was a big talk of like people wanted to see win. Like, you have almost there's a top 6, not a final 4, 6 guys that could viably be in. And if I think about it, I can probably think of more, but like viable contenders that are not champions, that are gunning for either Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins for their titles. So it's gonna be awesome. Yes, happy birthday to Young Kings Wrestling.
Yo.
Shout out to those guys. And like I said, make sure you guys check out their episode. It'll drop on Monday. They got an award show coming out. You guys aren't going to want to fucking miss that.
Player hater of the year is what I'm looking forward to. That's what my 2023 is culminating with.
So they got their birthday episode coming out. They've got an awards show coming out. A lot of good shit coming from my boys over here.
The best podcast that comes out on Monday.
In the future, not your birthday episode's this Monday, but every Monday, and they should check you out every Monday, including the award show. All right, and I think we talked about CM Punk. Seth, it was amazing. It was awesome. We loved it. Will's a hater. Anything else?
No! Don't do that. Don't do that.
Will knows I love him, and he'll get me back tomorrow, so we're good.
Will's a player hater right now, but it's okay. We like player haters.
Any other spits or swallows from this week? Anything you guys want to talk about or highlight? Or Jess?
Since I brought it up, Ivar, you know, Bronson Reed and Ivar, you know what I'm saying? I know that this match doesn't go anywhere. I know nothing's gonna happen, but you know, just watching the RB sponsored match with all these meats. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Shout out to the
You know-
Chicago Meatpacking District, but it's a good entertainment time. You know what I'm saying? It's a good segue to the next storyline and segment. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it.
Me.
Excluding Katie from this situation, I don't want you to be involved in this. When Matt, Justin, and Vince get on a podcast, we should be known as the Chicago Meatpacking District
Oh, let's
because
go.
we pack the meats.
We bring the heat so you can swallow the meat.
I love that. Slap it on the t-shirt.
That would be like our faction name. We're the Chicago Meatpacking District.
I'm gonna create us in NBA 2K and WWE 2K23 and make us the Chicago Meatpacking
Katie hated everything about that.
District.
Dude, make us like a sandwich, and like each layer of meat is our face. Like, like, is that possible? Or?
Who would be
Like
the center?
Shredder's weave or like what?
Wait. Should
It should be
Matt
Katie's
be?
hands. It should be Katie's hands.
Please,
That
God,
way-
no, don't involve me in this shit.
Are you gonna make me the center because I'm the other white meat?
No. I was gonna make you the center because you're a mayo inside our sandwich.
Wow.
No,
you just called me
no,
mayo. That's
come
at the
on.
very least, I'm spicy mayo. All right, I'm not
Come
just
You're
straight up
Chipotle
Hellmann's.
mayo. You're
Thank
Chipotle
you.
mayo.
Fucked up.
You're the mayo that we butter our burgers with.
Katie.
No, Matt's the Capicola.
There you go. The gabagool. Katie, you
gabagool,
got
I'm sorry.
any
Sorry.
bits or swallows for this week?
I don't know anything down. Yes. 2 small things. 1, the Von Erich boys being on TV and wrestling a match. That was fucking cool. Warmed my little heart. And then their dad came out and did the Iron. That was cool. I liked that.
It was really cool seeing Zac Efron on AEW TV.
I know, crazy. Who would have thought? Who would have thought he would just show up there? Gets a star on the Hollywood Walk
my
of Fame,
God.
shows up on TV. What a guy. And then tonight on Collision, Willow and Stat defeated Mercedes Martinez and Diamante in a street fight. And it was badass.
Brutal.
It was nice.
Wild.
All right. Vince, you
Uh,
got any more?
The phenomenal AJ Styles, coming back on SmackDown. God damn it. Alan Jones. Love to see that Jack. Man, he's so jacked too. God damn, all this meat. Like, we're the Chicago Meat Packing District, but god damn, AJ was packing the meat on Friday Night SmackDown too.
Delicious.
Jesus. Where is Jesus? Jesus, where the fuck are you, dude?
Jesus.
He comes to my shows, not yours.
Delicious.
See, Vince, now if you were clever, you would have been like, SmackDown should be sponsored by Arby's because they have the meats.
They should. Let me see.
Anyway. All right. So let me ask you guys. I'll ask you guys, and then I'll also the chat, guys. The chat. Do you guys want to know the categories that we're going to talk about beforehand? Do you want me to run them all down, or do you just want to get them one at a time?
I like to do it one at a time.
I know you can't handle more than one at a time. What about
No,
the
I
chat?
just
What
like
do you guys want?
to. I just like to focus on one specific thing at a time.
Well,
I like to
I
give
mean,
it
we
the
would do
attention.
them. We would go back and do them one at a time, but I would give everyone the categories ahead of time if they want.
Oh, okay.
Canadian Jesus.
Canadian Jesus is here, not your Jesus. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, just run down all the categories,
All
and then
right.
we'll
So
go one.
you guys at least know what's going on. So, like I said, I did my best to take AVN award categories and set up our categories for our year in review. Now, again, this is not an award show. We're not handing out awards. We're just going to be talking about our favorites from each category. Each of our favorites could be multiple, could be one, whatever. Some of them I had to tweak a little bit because it just didn't, adhere to what I needed for what we were looking for. But best oral production will be our biggest swallow of the year.
Yes.
Worst oral production, which is not an AVN award because they don't hand out things for the worst, is going to be our biggest spit of the year. Male performer of the year. I think that's, cut and dry. Best male newcomer is going to be breakout star of the year for the men. We've got female performer of the year, again, fairly cut and dry. Best new starlet, which is going to be female breakout star of the year. Tag team performer of the year. And then I was having a hard time because we do a weekly, what was your favorite show of the week, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, what was the best show of the year? But there wasn't really anything that really kind of fit that because everything's more categorized. So I went with director of the year because in my head, the person booking the show is what makes the show our favorite show. Like if the booker's doing a good job, it's why we enjoy doing it. So we're going to give props to our favorite booker / show of the year in honor of our weekly favorite show sort of thing. Then we're going to get into Smackin' It Raw specific stuff. So we've got, we also have best production of the year, which is going to be our favorite pay-per-view this year, which brings me to why I didn't do our favorite match of the year. Because when I was trying to think of what my favorite pay-per-view is, and I've told you guys this, I can't remember what the fuck happened at any pay-per-views this year. I know they happened. There are big things like maybe a match or two at WrestleMania. I was struggling to remember who won the fucking Women's Rumble for like 20 minutes earlier today. I know, and then I realized what it was, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know who won the Men's Rumble, but who the fuck was it that won? Oh yeah, because I felt like she's been champion for fucking ever, and it felt like longer than the Royal Rumble.
The disrespect, I will not stand.
Anyway, so I don't remember that shit, let alone specific matches and how good the matches were. Like I hear everyone talk about them, and I can be like, oh yeah, I remember enjoying that, and I can go back and watch it and see why I enjoyed it. But matches and pay-per-views as a whole don't really stick in my head like that. So that's why I stuck with pay-per-view as opposed to matches. Smackin' It Raw specific stuff. This is an actual porn category. Clever title of the year. What is more appropriate? Because our favorite thing to do here on Smackin' It Raw is come up with titles. It is one of our things, figuring it out, whether we have one planned and it gets changed because we said something funny in the show, or we're just working through it. The chat helps us out. Katie helps us out. Our guests help us out. Whatever the case may be, finding our titles is my favorite thing. And I will read you off all of the titles that we've had this year when we get to that category, and then let them pick theirs. And then last but not least, best featured performer of the year. Again, something I tweaked a little bit because it wasn't an official category. But this is to shout out all of our guests that we've had on this year. You know, like Vince, consistent guest from the Get Show podcast. Love him. Always
I can't fucking stand you, man.
I
can't stand you.
And then last but not least, the only award we will be giving out will be best ass in wrestling. And I've got nominees for that, and everyone else is going to have theirs, and we'll debate that, and we'll have a good time. So
will we?
We will.
We're starting things off terribly.
Let's kick it off. Best oral production. What biggest swallow of the year? I know what mine is. Matt Riddle got fucking fired, ladies and gentlemen. Biggest swallow of the year.
I knew that was going to be it. There was only like one other thing that could have topped it, but no.
Hashtag Ritter over Riddle, baby.
Hell no.
Love it.
Okay, you're going to need to get the fuck out of here, Benny.
Yeah, no. We don't support Matt Riddle over here, Ben. Stop that.
Yo,
hey, Jayland.
Shout out you staying up late to support us. Love you,
Support Jayland, man.
Thank you for coming through, Benny. Kyle's here too. Also, just dropping Sarah J's name.
Kyle,
I'm assuming for best ass in wrestling.
Probably.
Katie, biggest swallow of the year?
It's Rhea Ripley winning the Rumble and then going on to win at WrestleMania because she earned it. She deserved it. Mommy, always. She's killing shit. It has been rising star all year for Rhea Ripley, and rightfully so. She's taking that division to the next level that it fucking needed.
Mommy's been on top 2023 the entire time.
Yes, she has.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah J for biggest swallow. She be gulping. That's true.
I can't stand this pre-bird.
Justin, biggest swallow of the year.
I feel like this is kind of we all will swallow this, but I know it's kind of redundant to say, but I'm gonna have to go with the CM Punk coming back to WWE. It's just because nobody really thought. Nobody. Come on, I'll give it to you. Give it back to me. It's good. Just because nobody really thought that would happen, even if the person thought that was gonna happen, you didn't really think it was gonna happen.
My biggest swallow still
is my Shawn Michaels. Well, trust me, we will talk roast of Vince later too when we get into clever titles.
That's okay. That's
so we talked about it. Obviously, hashtag Ritter over Riddle. I won the battle. He got fired. Great things. Rhea dominating 2023 is the most Katie thing that could be the biggest swallow.
Yeah.
Are you sharing, or do you have your own?
Yeah,
biggest swallow?
yeah. That was actually my biggest swallow was CM Punk's return to WWE at Survivor Series War Games. I was there in attendance. My sister and I have both said this is the greatest night of our lives. I said because I was asked this by my fiance. It's like, is there anything that can top this night for you? I was like, our wedding day. And my sister was like, I don't even know if my wedding day could top this. So it was a great moment. We were there in attendance. Fucking amazing. I've been on cloud 9 ever since. Like I said on Getcho this week, I'm getting like a schoolgirl that Phil is back. Swallow of the year.
Shout out to
right,
schoolgirl.
all right,
Shout out to schoolgirl.
Like I'm with you guys. However, there was nothing that was going to top Matt Riddle. So like that was the greatest.
No,
that's pretty good. No, that's,
the only thing that would have been a bigger swallow is if they had actually created a real brand split. Like
right.
Sure.
That would have been it. Good answer, Vince. Good answer.
That's a good answer too.
Vince eats nachos too. All right. So worst oral production, biggest spit of the year. I debated us losing Bray Wyatt being my biggest spit of the year because that was sad, but also I don't really want to spit anything Bray Wyatt. So while that was sad, and we don't really have a Hall of Fame, if we did, I mean, he's here in every form for every podcast. He would be the first inductee. So I actually went with the NWA is my biggest spit of the year. Because not only did they put the belt on Tyrus, but when they finally almost lost Will Gray because of that, and then they took it off him, and Will was like, I'm going to get mad into the NWA. We're going to do this. They got TV coming. They dropped the fucking ball over cocaine, which I thought was going to happen in AEW, not the NWA. Billy Corgan fucked up big time.
Allowed
so
it to
the
happen.
NWA fumbling the bag is my biggest spit of 2023.
Fair.
That was just like on Powerbomb Jitsu's episode when they're doing their episode award show. Check that out too as well. That was their biggest spit of the year as well, and that's mine too. It's Billy Corgan, NWA, cocaine, Tyrus, everything about that. Yeah, definitely spit.
Wait, biggest swallow or biggest spit?
Pushing his back in.
Pushing his
now,
back in.
now if that's
I feel like
I'm with you, Wallow,
Vince
but you
pushing
gotta
his
describe.
way back in is why there are all those lawsuits against Vince right now. Like, let's be clear. Oh, he meant spit. Okay, he meant.
I was gonna say we were gonna have a lot of.
Slightly targeted.
He said no. He meant spit. He meant spit.
Slightly targeted. But I love you, Will. But also, you got to admit they fumbled the bag big time, and you almost had me. You even got me to sit down and watch some NWA matches with you on a live stream. And you're like, Matt's gonna like this shit. You also made me watch fucking ICP bullshit, which I don't know what the fuck you were doing, but yep.
You're not a juggler?
No, I'm not a juggler.
A juggler?
No. Neither of those things.
It's been a while since I've been in a ICP pit. So,
Katie, biggest spit?
It's just the epitome of Ric Flair's existence.
like
the fact that AEW, specifically Koki Khan, he said we're going to promote Ric Flair. We're going to have his shitty little energy drinks sponsored everywhere. Put it on all the fucking billboards. Have this senile old man on your TV trying to speak coherent sentences into a microphone, a live microphone, saying some of the ugliest and nastiest shit humanly possible because he's a scumbag and a decrepit piece of garbage. So everything about Ric Flair, spitting.
Come on, talk your shit. Go, let's go.
Agreed. Woo energy drinks and woo wings having to be a thing because he spent all his goddamn money and can't afford the stupid suits he wears. Like, yeah, no, I'm with you. Flair drip is literal mid too. See, there you go. How would you know what Rick? Never mind. I don't want to know.
No, you don't. Now he's gonna answer you.
Just biggest spit of the year.
What's it called? I mean, the NWA is my only one.
You're with me on
For
the
biggest
NWA?
spin of the
Okay.
year. That's
okay.
the only one because I mean it triumphs everything else. I mean, I was gonna give, and hear me out. I was gonna give that Death Valley or that death match with Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, the
But that
Texas
that
Chainsaw Massacre death
right,
match.
right.
Oh, yeah.
But knowing what it was for a cause, and we got Leatherface to come out. So in a way, like, yeah, the match was bad, but for everything else, it was pretty entertaining. So I can't really give that a spit because I enjoyed it too. So
Okay.
All right. Respect.
Daddy Delgado, what you
Okay.
spitting?
So I'm torn between two. I made my official one, Shane McMahon botching his WrestleMania return and then just pulling Daddy Vince McMahon and just like blowing his quad or whatever it was.
Quads plural.
Quads, Jesus fuck. It's in the McMahon gene, I guess. But yeah, that I thought it sucked dry the momentum. If it wasn't for Snoop Dogg saving things, like that could have like really killed like the vibe for WrestleMania for a bit, and they would have had to work to get it back there. Why they felt the need they needed to do Shane McMahon versus Miz impromptu still beyond like baffles me. But if I want to be a little bit of a homer here, I wanted to say CM Punk being fired by AEW prior to All Out in Chicago. Like I thought that was just like bad for Chicago wrestling fans because I wanted to see CM Punk.
Stage.
They had it coming.
Doesn't matter.
What up,
That's a
Brocast?
felony.
So,
No, it's
well,
assault.
Not in the jungle.
debatable. G-A-Land said, spin of the year, all the trash new theme songs. Shocker, I know. Our producer, the man behind everything that we do here, theme music wise, shouting out the music. Will kind of agreed with me and Just. His is NWA related. Tyrus versus EC3 at 75, worst match of the year.
yes.
And then for Jesus, it was the Raw After Mania was spin of the year. So worst oral production, Raw After Mania. I get that. Also, if you guys are over on YouTube, please hook us up and hit that like button. Just if you haven't done it already, give us a like on this video while you're here. I would appreciate it. I'm seeing a lot of people over there on YouTube. So yeah, just drop that for us. Allison said Tyrus in general is the biggest spin of the year. So look, Allison, Will, me, and Justin on the same NWA banner for worst oral production of the year. Let's get back into the positives. My male performer of the year.
Yes.
L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Where this man was in 2022 going into 2023 and the uncertainty that we had to where he ended up, regardless of how you feel about Crown Jewel, facing Roman Reigns for the title, holding SmackDown down with the fall apart and absence of the bloodline. L.A. Knight, for me, is the male performer of the year, both in ring with his big fucking dick, the BFD, and his promo skills and everything that he was doing. Love me some L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Katie, who you got?
So I have two different reasons.
Okay.
One, Carmelo Hayes. Mello, don't miss. 2023 was the year of Carmelo. NXT champion, him and Trick were running shit in NXT. The storyline going on right now, that is disgraceful what's on the screen right now.
Oh, I knew it was coming, and because we got these two idiots here, so just
yeah, I know. Yeah. So Carmelo, definitely one of them. He talks his shit, and being in this U.S. tournament right now too, to end out the year, love it. And then I'm giving it to Swerve Strickland. This man had a meteoric rise in AEW this year, talking his shit, backing it up, the fantastic matches he has been having with Hangman in this tournament, the Red Robin tournament for the IHOP Continental Breakfast Championship. I got you. It's everything about like where he was last year in AEW. With his two white friends and like not our kind of white people friends, like no. Now with Prince Nana by his side and the crowd behind him and just it's what Swerve needs, it's what he deserves, and 2024 he will be AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Right. Because whose house?
Swerve's house.
Come on.
There you go. I like that.
All right. Do you guys just want to go together? You guys just want to snowball, jerk off,
You
circle
damn
jerk,
right.
whatever the fuck?
No,
you're doing?
My title's out.
Just can go first, and then I'll do my own separate thing.
Justin, male performer of the year.
You know who it is. Jesus said it best, and Jesus don't lie. Dom Mysterio. Male performer, most improved.
Betty said it's Tozawa. April Bump said it's Nacho Vidal, if you guys aren't familiar.
I'm not.
Say what you want. I know that Shawn Michaels is still cross-eyed, so he may not have thought process might be weird saying the Dom's the MVP on a previous podcast, but it's true. As a performer, as a newcomer, he's been on every other show doing his thing. And I gotta give the guy credit. I know we're biased people, but I gotta give the man his credit.
I am not. I am.
The thing is, wait, somebody in Dominic's opportunity could have easily failed, but he didn't. So he's on the up and up, and I gotta give it to the bloodline. I mean, the bloodline.
Dude.
The Judgment Day. Sorry,
the bloodline. It's close.
Listen, there's only one male performer of the year, and it is, of course, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Let me run down the names that Dominic Mysterio has gone toe-to-toe with in that squared circle. Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. That was my main event. That was Rey Mysterio finished the story and just became a better fodder by actually whipping that boy into shape at WrestleMania. Actually got the climax everybody wanted. Randy Orton. He had Randy Orton's first singles match back since his 18-month hiatus. Put him over like the legend killer he is. Cody Rhodes. Fantastic. Another big name. Sami Zayn. Jey Uso. Seth frickin' Rollins. Ilya Dragunov.
Let's go.
John Cena.
Talk it.
Carmelo Hayes. Kevin Owens.
You in the body, come on, let's go.
Dragon Lee. Wesley. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Let's go.
Dolph Ziggler. The New Day. And of course, and on December 26th in Madison Square Garden, he will be facing CM Punk in his first return match as a singles wrestler to WWE in Madison Square Garden. This man has gotten nothing but praises by not only Shawn Michaels saying that he's been the MVP. Mark Henry has compared him to guys like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, saying he's one of those and Randy Orton, one of those second, third generation guys that don't miss a beat. Like you see Randy Orton, like he had this slow crescendo to being the legend killer that he is now. And that's where Dom's getting at. 3 years ago, when he first debuted in the pandemic era of WWE, you have not seen Dom be where he is right now. This man had probably one of the better matches on Monday Night Raw with Dragon Lee and helped showcase Dragon Lee and help put over the culture, uplifting other Mexicans by putting that North American title on him. He was on Raw, he's been on SmackDown, he's been on NXT. This man is a triple threat. This man deserves everyone's praise and respect. You may not like him, but you better damn well respect him.
Come on.
Let's go. Still going? My God. Do we have a timer on that?
Message, bro.
If I had music to play, I would have played him off. Again, this is your fave. There's no right or wrong answer here. You can make an argument. There's no reason to make an argument because no one's getting a fucking award. I'm happy for you and Just. He's guys
the greatest North American champion in history. Made that title relevant.
False information.
Not true.
Anyways.
I'm happy for you guys, and even though this doesn't get your podcast, feel free to give him all the props you need to. Just don't fucking talk about basketball on my show. Best male newcomer, Trick Williams.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go.
From backup to main event, Trick Williams. Listen, there's going to be a lot of sucking off Shawn Michaels and NXT tonight for me. So be prepared for that. Vince, we talked about it, right?
Yeah.
There was a point in time where we were kind of down on NXT. It was our favorite thing going with the black and gold. There was a down period. Sean has really turned things around, and with the names we've mentioned, like Braun Breaker, like Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, all of the stuff he's done with women's wrestling over there on NXT, he's really revitalized my love of this brand. And Trick Williams, male newcomer of the year, because he broke out, he got out of the shadow of Carmelo Hayes, and he's making a name for himself
in a big way too. You can't say too many bad things about Trick Williams. You can't say enough great things about the meteoric rise he's had. It's just been high, up. Great things from that man. You look forward to him, because before I just really saw him as like, look, this is not a shot to this specific person, even though you like them, but he felt like a Channing Stacks Lorenzo to a Tony D'Angelo. Now, look, I'm sorry, but that's kind of like Dolph Ziggler when he was the caddy for Kerwin White. He wasn't there.
Not the same thing, but okay.
Not the same thing at all. But
Being a caddy and being an underboss are far different career choices. Just to be clear.
Realistically, though, like Channing Stacks Lorenzo is a great wrestler on the roster, but he doesn't feel like a guy that's going to be challenging for the NXT title. Realistically,
why is Channing Stacks Lorenzo catching strays right now?
Look, I'm sorry.
That's my question.
Don't worry, we'll handle it later. We're good.
Oh, I know we will.
But yeah, Trick Williams has been able to just like get away from the Carmelo thing. They split them up at just the right time. The song, Booker T, everything just totally worked. Great shit there, honestly.
Does Nana, Kerwin White, and Carmelo Hayes are essentially the same? Wow.
Stop it, Kyle.
Does anyone not have Trick as their best male newcomer?
I have Trick.
I have Trick, but I also have another one, just so we're not copy and pasting all the time.
Katie, what do you got?
I have Trick, of course.
Okay. What's your other one?
Clean
Jess?
sweep for Trick Williams, baby. Trick.
So I'm gonna do I'm gonna nominate Giovanni Vinci. Okay, and I know he's one half of a tag team. I didn't really care too much about Imperium as a tag team, but for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I see Giovanni Vinci doing more stuff in that team than his partner. Every time he's in there, he's had the hot tag. He's doing, flips. He's doing more moves. He has the more crowd engagement. I don't know if it's just me, but I see him.
Giovanni Vinci's been there.
Okay, so but mind you, it's breakout. It's breakout star, and if Just feels this was the year after 5 years he finally broke out, we'll let him do it. Like we'll let him have this.
That's why I was like an honorable mention. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with Just, and I like giving the nod to Gio because Gio gets a lot of flack from Ludwig Kaiser, and then for a while there, Gunther. Like he's now finally getting his flowers. I liked him all the way back in the Cruiserweight Classic because he was doing that stuff back then. Now that's a dude when he was doing his gimmick down in NXT, and he didn't get called up with the rest of Imperium, and he was first repackaged as Giovanni Vinci. I fucking loved it. He had a great entrance. He had a great character. I honestly am all for Giovanni Vinci breaking off from Imperium, being his own dude. I would love to see it.
There's a better Italian group you could have joined up with. Katie,
he should. I'm on that train too. He should be there.
Yes, ma'am.
What is my favorite thing about professional wrestling?
Specifically?
Why do I watch pro wrestling? What do I love more than anything in pro wrestling?
The
Stories, not the actual wrestling itself.
Okay, you guys are all wrong. Characters.
I was close.
Whatever.
Yes.
Same shit.
Like,
female performer of the year. Greatest female character of the year. One timeless Toni Storm.
Yeah.
This is the only reason I have really been not the only reason. There's Julia Hart and Sky Blue and stuff like that, but the biggest reason why I've been tuning in to and watching AEW, there's not a lot they're giving me that I like. This is so much up my alley. And in a world where gimmicks for women aren't really a thing right now, this is a fucking fantastic gimmick, and she is killing it. So my female performer of the year, not only that, but also two-time AEW Women's Champion, this year.
Yeah.
This year, yeah.
Tony Storm.
I don't knock the pick. It's a good pick.
Great. But
No, I more so.
I can't stand him.
I love him.
I would
mean,
more so have her in the Best New Starlet winner.
How is Tony
No.
Storm a breakout?
Because she
No.
broke out with
No,
that new
he's-
gimmick.
That's
no.
not what a breakout is. That's not.
No.
How this woman was NXT Women's Champion, NXT UK Women's Champion.
She was never NXT champion. She was only NXT UK champion, and she won the Mae Young Classic. However, she's always just kind of been
That's not no.
just
not
she's just
breakout.
been a wrestler there. She's just a wrestler there,
But
and I think she
breakout-
broke
no,
out
the
this year.
Breakout is it's different though. It's not like
She could also be a breakout star because she broke away from
That's
that.
not
awful
how
faction.
that works.
it's like
Listen.
it's like what he said. 5 years, but like
Tony Storm can
We're
be a
just
breakout,
let-
and Vinci
listen.
can't. Thank you.
Just Vince doesn't get passes. Just does because it's just, and this is just how Just's brain works. We all know that. We love Justin. Vince knows better. No, but anyway,
Breakaway star. Okay, but
okay.
that's where
They're
I would have
different.
categorized her.
Katie, female performer of the year. I think we already know what it is.
I have two. Excuse me. One of which is, of course, Timeless Tony Storm. Chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe. She's fucking phenomenal in everything she does. The black and white when she's wrestling, the black and white when she's in commentary, the dramatics of an old time actress. Everything about it is top notch, top tier. And the other, of course, is fucking Mommy, the real leader of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest ain't
There
got
are no
shit
leaders.
on her. Damian
not
Priest
true.
thinks there is, and it's Rhea. He ain't shit. It's Rhea.
We all know the truth. We all know the truth. And you should be happy that Rhea's the leader, because if Rhea's the king of Judgment Day,
Rhea's-
Dom is her queen. All right.
Lola Vice
Dom
because
is her
we're-
queen.
No, Lola Vice, gosh.
But
I mean,
it's-
it could be a breakout
it's
for
Rhea.
her. But I like those two, Katie.
It's both those two. I mean, it's those two have been the top of their division. Whether it's been Tony Storm for a little bit, Rhea the entire year.
Yeah. And if you
Instead of-
watch Solo Katie, you know how much Katie loves Tony Storm and Rhea.
Yeah, that's true.
Instead of
Charlotte?
Yeah.
Justin going next, I'd like to go next because I also have Mommy, and I don't want to be redundant and let just maybe because he might not have Rhea Ripley in the off chance, but I do have Rhea Ripley. She started off her year by winning the Women's Royal Rumble. She quote unquote was one of the WWE's what it considers the main events by beating Charlotte Flair. She became the SmackDown Women's Champion on Raw. Then she became the first ever WWE Women's World Champion. She's been undefeated in singles competition when it came, and maybe in general. I know it's with her title matches, obviously, but in general, I think she's been undefeated. So I'm gonna go with her. She's the leader of her own faction. Yes, there are many other factions that involve women wrestlers, but she's the first leader of her faction. She's the leader of her faction that's like has male and women members. So she's one of the top stars on Raw, regardless of gender. She's one of the top stars in WWE, regardless of gender. She's a top star in all of wrestling. Everyone fucking loves Rhea Ripley. The only thing you can say negative about her is that she doesn't defend her title all that often, but that's
Neither
because
does
she's.
Roman.
Say what?
Neither does Roman. That's my excuse.
Yeah, exactly. There's Roman. No one gives a fuck about Roman. I don't give a fuck about Rhea. But we see Rhea every single fucking week, unlike Roman. So, and that's not a shot against our tribal chief. You know, I acknowledge you, but I also acknowledge Rhea Ripley.
so confused at what happened at the end there, but okay, I'm with you.
I don't know.
Just female performer of the year.
I mean, dude, 2023 has been like some of the best women wrestling all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Mercedes Moné, Kairi Sane, they had a match in San Jose for the IGWGP Women's Championship. I know we don't acknowledge that here, but I'm going to acknowledge it because I was there.
You were there.
And you know, you had Saraya and Wembley, you had all that, and you had all the what happened with the breakout tournaments and everything like that. I have to give it to Trinity. I'm gonna give it to her for going to Impact, for showing people that I'm not just gonna be Mercedes's sidekick or whatever. She took her time to plan out her route for her own lane, and she decided Impact was the place for her. And you see that she's killing it with all the other ladies down there. So shout out to her. I actually was gonna give it, because if you look at the whole year from January to now, I was gonna give it to Willow Nightingale, but she got injured, so she missed a couple matches to make that cutoff for me. But other than that, those two for me.
Those are solid fucking picks.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the Knockouts division has for a long time been like the pinnacle of women's wrestling.
Yeah.
She goes there, she wins the championship this year, regardless of how everyone feels about Impact / TNA and their place in the world. No one until maybe NXT has really showcased women better than TNA has. So I'm with you on that. Vince.
Yes.
Pull up that Patreon banner for me.
Give me 1 second. I was not prepared.
I know you weren't. That's why I told you to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are watching us live, I want to thank you. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, you guys are going to have to watch us with ads. However, if you go to patreon.com/creationworld, for $1, you get 3 awesome shows. You get Return to Wrestling with me and Travis. Latest episode is out where we talk Slamboree 1998. You get Multiverse with Travis and Mara, where they are talking DC animated films. And you get If You Have to Ask. Kate and I are recording the 2nd episode tomorrow before getting off. So if you subscribe now, you will get all that for $1. If you want this show ad-free, go check out the tiers. We have a bunch of different things that we offer you, including this show ad-free. But if you're watching us live, we have some great shit. The holidays are coming up. It's not too late. You can get yourself some sex toys and some DUBBY so you can help stay up all night, wrapping presents or fucking yourself. Whatever it is you do, we have the stuff for you. And discount codes so you can get awesome things for the holidays for you, your significant other. You know, maybe you're weird and you want to get it for like a family member as a prank or whatever. Like, whatever you want to do, we got discount codes to hook you up just in time for the holiday seasons. And Travis is going to tell us all about that right now.
Spice things up in the bedroom, then it's time to check out Adam and Eve. Because you see, Adam and Eve is the leading adult toy store that offers a wide range of products to help you explore your sexual desires. Whether you're looking for something to use solo or with a partner, they have everything you need to satisfy your cravings. From vibrators to lingerie, bondage gear to lubricants, AdamandEve.com has it all. And the best part, you can shop with confidence, knowing that all their products are of high quality and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, penis ring, vibrator, anal sex toy, bondage toy, couples toy, lube, or accessory, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. No questions asked. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Adam and Eve is giving you 50% off almost any item on their website. That's right, 50% off. And if you act now, you'll also get free shipping. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the offer code erotica at checkout. That's erotica at adamandeve.creationworld.com for 50% off almost any item and free shipping. Don't wait. This offer won't last very long. The link is in the description. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try DUBBY, the ultimate energy source. DUBBY is a powerful, clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, DUBBY can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, DUBBY is made with high quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash, jitters, or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix DUBBY with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to dubby.creationworld.com and order your DUBBY today. And for a limited time, use code CREATIA at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at dubby.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try DUBBY today and feel the difference. The link is in the description.
Unfortunately, is bathroom break time at the bodega. This is the only time that Jess can get away from the counter. He will be back, though. In the meantime, our next category, and I'll run it for just when he gets back. Best New Starlet, Female Breakout Performer of the Year. This is a hard one because, yes, Vincent.
Can I start?
No, you cannot.
Oh, fine.
Just we're doing a breakout female star, best new starlet. This was a hard one because there's a lot of fucking females out there. Like we said, 2023 has been the year of women. They could be doing more, but they've done a lot this year. A lot of people in AEW and WWE, especially through NXT. And mine through NXT is your current NXT Women's Champion, Lyra Valkyria. We
That's
watched
a good answer.
Roxanne Perez and then Tiffany Stratton beaten by Lyra. Lyra had her match with Becky. Lyra's been killing it. I have been a huge fan of everything Lyra's done. She even got acknowledged by Rhea Ripley and all of that. I've been supporting the shit out of Lyra from the go. TC says Kalani Jordan, who is in the breakout tournament.
It was good.
Great option as well.
So good.
Could be winning that. So yeah, Lyra Valkyria. Vince, I'll let you go now.
Okay. Well, I wanted to go first because the last thing we talked about was just giving Trinity the female performer of the year, but I'm giving her my best new starlet award because she is. I took it a little bit more literal because she's a new starlet to Impact TNA, and I feel like she did break out because for the longest time there, like towards the end of her tenure there with WWE, she wasn't really used. She was strapped. She got saddled in a tag team with Sasha, but just kind of felt like they didn't have anything for either of those two women, so they just said, "Let's just pair the two of them together." It's been a while since WrestleMania in Orlando where she came out in her hometown, won the SmackDown Women's title. She used to be one of the top performers on SmackDown. She went over to Impact. She's a new starlet there. She broke out. So Trinity Fatu, Trinity over there in Impact's getting my vote. I did want to give an honorable mention to Lola Vice because reasons. And I also did have Lyra Valkyria there. But I don't know. I just wanted to give Trin something, but I also wanted to give Rhea something. So I'm cheating here. So I'm giving Trin breakout.
TC, you're in the chat. With your permission, because again, I don't want to dick ride you guys. Is it cool if we do an award show next year? Because I feel like this is going to have to become an award show so I can give Vince specific criteria as to what consists of a breakout star, so on and so forth, so we can stick to that. However, because this is your favorite and these are our picks and it's a year in review and you just want to highlight, there are no wrong answers this year. Next year there will be.
Trinity breakout star, best new star.
Oh my god,
Katie, best
respect.
I have 3. Kalani Jordan was number 1. She has been wrestling for under a year. Has made quite the impact, no pun intended, in NXT. The few matches that she has had, she didn't win the breakout tournament, no, but she has consistently put on great matches, put her life on the line in the Iron Survivor, and got close to winning.
Yeah.
Julia Hart was my number 2. She
Good answer.
Joined House of Black at the end of last year, if not the very beginning of this year, and is now your TBS champion. And just her theme song is phenomenal. She exudes this confidence now being with the House of Black, and her in-ring has just improved tremendously. And along with that, Sky Blue is my 3rd pick. We have seen Sky Blue the past year, going from a few matches here and there to consistently being on AEW TV. Now is in her spooky girl era, as she should be. And it's great. I love what they're doing over there with them, specifically Julia and Sky. And it gives me hope, especially because they're both so young, of what they can do in the future.
All great picks.
Yeah. I had Sky Blue in there, but I wasn't sure if she qualifies as best new starlet because she's been around for so many years.
Not on TV.
Dark's on
Yes.
TV, YouTube TV.
Justin, best new starlet.
You know what? Like my man TC that's in the chat right now. Me and him have similar picks. I have to go with Kalani Jordan as well, just because I know that she hasn't been on a like, how do I say this, multiple NXT shows, but even though she's been featured backstage in certain storylines, that's what the Iron Survivor is meant for. It's meant to showcase people who normally don't get that TV time. So I gotta go with Kalani Jordan.
All right.
Yeah,
It is a fantastic pick. I agree with Katie. Lyra got the edge for me just because of the NXT Women's Championship versus a TBS Championship, or unfortunately for Sky Blue, no championships. But like I said, there are so many women out there who have had a banner year, who have made an impact, who you weren't seeing or familiar with if you were watching wrestling on TV and not the indies, who showed out and did their thing. Three of them I talked about: Roxanne Perez coming over and doing her thing in NXT, and Tiffany Stratton out of nowhere, just all of a sudden this year blew the fuck up with that moonsault, becoming champion.
Right.
Good shit. Tag team performers of the year. My vote should be no surprise. From Chicago, Illinois, the motherfucking family. Don't get me wrong, the Creeds are fantastic. There's a lot of great tag teams out there. FTR may be the best tag team in the world, but the family, the Don and Stacks, 2-time NXT champions this year. The motherfucking family.
Forget about it. What you gonna do?
They were right about Santos all along.
Bingo.
Katie, tag team of the year. Oh, unless did you have something on the family, or Vince?
Oh no, I was just gonna say like this is Matt's homer pick of the entire.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm picking Chicago people. I thought that's what the fuck we did around here, because they're built
Chicago
from
Meatpacking
Chicago.
District, baby.
Fucking right.
Meatpacking District. Come on. Yeah.
Broke
I'm
ass
sorry,
of the
Katie,
year
go ahead.
award on Chase.
Very true.
We are more similar on some of these than we would probably think. I love you, Will. Katie.
Oh, the answer is the family. 100%.
Of course.
They have been one of the most entertaining tag teams to me and Matt. I mean, we love the Creeds. I love Alpha Academy, but it's like mainly
was
Chad Gable.
Specifically where I thought you were going.
It's
was
mainly
either
Chad
Creeds-
Gable. Otis is just like, yeah. And I love me some Creeds. DIY, not really a lot of tag teams. I don't
They
care
just
about
barely
tag
started
teams.
teaming.
It's I don't know, everything about the family is just very entertaining, and the matches they are putting on, and there's so many opportunities they could have been champions and they weren't given that this year. And like Matt said, 2-time NXT tag team champions, your current NXT tag team champions just defeated some werewolves a few weeks ago. Like, come on. It's phenomenal. They're doing great. They got Andre Chase's money. They got
Dude.
Big Ange as their heater now. Let's go.
Who better than Big Ange? By the way,
Nobody.
that's the Sicilian flag for those of you who are unaware. I know
There
you were
go.
expecting, that thing that kind of looks like the Mexican flag, but without the giant tattoo in the middle for me to be waving. But this is the Sicilian flag that we're waving over here.
Chicago flag came before the Italian flag, by the way.
The giant tattoo.
Vince,
Yes.
tag team of the year.
Granted, they're not currently a tag team, but you can't really give it to anyone other than the Usos. They were one of the tag teams that main evented night 1 of WrestleMania. One of the hotter stories involvement with the tag teams. They were the longest reigning tag team champions in all of WWE history, so they broke that record. So they're the Roman Reigns of tag teams, except they were actually wrestling a lot. So you had them teaming and performing against like the likes of LWO, Alpha Academy, Street Profits, Braun Strowman, and Ricochet, and more throughout the year. So
I didn't know you were a ventriloquist.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, my screen froze on my end. But
We can still hear you perfectly.
yeah,
It's just crazy because your lips aren't moving, but I'm hearing all the words.
It's okay. It's okay. It's we'll clip that for future use later. But yeah, but the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, they fucking knocked it out of the park. For the better, I want to say they were affiliated as a team up until SummerSlam. So that's still like 2/3 of the year. Like 8 months into the year, they were still a tag team. So yeah, so I'm still giving it to the Usos. They were fantastic. Main event, Jey Uso is popping off. And then heel Jimmy Uso is just one of the most hilarious things on SmackDown for me. Like
funny.
that dude is just too funny. Like when he's like
it.
yeet, and then he's like, no yeet. Like I fucking love it. So yeah,
everybody
Usos.
catching strays out
Like on-
here.
Like on SmackDown when he thought that he was gonna be the tribal chief and he was getting ready and everything like that, and it was
He
Solo.
was the only person that thought he was getting that.
Everybody
Nobody
knew.
else. Everyone knew it was Solo, but Jimmy.
No, I know. I'm just saying like how funny.
Does he know?
No, I
Does he know?
agree. It was so fucking
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
But like the
Yeah,
great
yeah.
thing is, it's like you do realize like you convinced your brother to turn on Roman. I don't even know why you're back with the bloodline. This was all
Right,
you're
right.
doing.
Jay
You did this
You're
shit.
nobody's bitch.
Jay would get the
Right.
most like confusing wrestler of the year award because when he came in back from his injury when the first main event Jey Uso run happened, he was like, "Oh, I ain't nobody's bitch," but then he fell in line, and then he,
Right.
like Matt was saying, he convinced his brother to go ahead and turn on Roman, and then he comes back, helps Roman keep the title, and then now he's aligned with the bloodline again. Like he makes no sense. His booking hasn't made too much sense in terms of character motivation, but he's still very entertaining.
He is very entertaining. Just tag team of the year.
Okay, I know this was a very short-lived tag team, right? And of course I would go with the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but that was, it ended in April. I'm gonna go with this tag team. I know they ended early, but MJF and Adam Cole as a tag team
That's a good one.
was hilarious for me at a time where I didn't care about AEW, but just the fact that they had like these, you're my friend too. You're my best friend. We're best friends. Like they did that gimmick better than Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens did, and then adding Roderick Strong to it, it was just so hilarious when they started that. And unfortunately, Adam Cole got injured, but I have to give it to them.
All right. I'm not opposed to that, and I know Katie loves giving Adam Cole a little bit of love.
Let him go.
Director of the year, aka best booker / best show of the year.
Oh,
I think we all know where I'm going with this. I talked about it earlier, ladies and gentlemen. This man's eyes point in two separate directions so he can see everything at once.
He's got an eye for talent.
He does have an eye for talent. The one, the only Shawn Michaels, and what he has done in revitalizing my love for NXT, which was at one point my favorite brand and has consistently been my favorite brand. Everything he has done with the women, the showcase of Carmelo Hayes, of Trick Williams, of
Dirty
Dominic
Dom Mysterio.
the
Yeah,
North American.
let's go.
give him his flowers, damn
Blah,
it.
blah, blah. Keeping Braun Breaker relevant, even though he should have been called up and he hasn't been. Everything. Like very few misses. You got Joey and Gacy and his bullshit.
Michaels don't
Miss-
miss.
like, no, he does miss because fucking schism. Like he misses, but very few misses. Also, even though it's not a pay-per-view, Halloween Havoc Night 1 was like my favorite fucking special show of the year, period, hands down.
they've been killing it
Everything about
every
it
year.
I fucking loved.
yeah.
So NXT for me. Do you guys have anything other than NXT?
Okay, go ahead. I think we're on the same page.
I don't know if we are or not, but I'm gonna give Director of the Year to Paul Triple H Levesque because he's completely turned around the main roster after Vince McMahon got booted out of the building. Some of the best stories right now being told in wrestling have been produced and directed by Paul Triple H Levesque. So Triple H, not only he's got my favorite faction in the Judgment Day, clicking on all cylinders. They've had like interweaving storylines back and forth. You still have the bloodline. It's still like like an easy thing to go back to. You had like the crisis of confidence with John Cena not being able to win matches anymore, and then they wrote him off the story. Damage Control, turning Damage Control into like a faction that everybody was saying flopped because of how it's being managed, into like the best women's faction that I'm say ever. Like honestly, right now they have the potential to be the greatest women's faction of all time. They have the greatest women talents almost in that whole faction. Then you got other stuff like they make that IC title fucking important. And every single challenger feels like they could win, whether that's Chad Gable or The Miz. They all feel like they can like be that guy to finally break Gunther's championship streak. Then you also have Seth freaking Rollins, the story about his back, like because he's carrying WWE on his shoulders, and he's breaking down because the pressure is getting to him, just going all over.
I mean, that's just retelling the story of Randy Orton carrying Matt Riddle, but neither here nor there.
That's true. Then you also have Shinsuke, like Asuka and all these other Asian characters on TV, getting like the subtitles, letting them cut intense promos in their own native language, which I fucking love. The LWO split as well, and then like last but not least, you have the CM Punk stuff, the Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre stuff. Everyone's trying to finish their stories, and all the great stories are being told on main roster, Raw and SmackDown by Triple H.
Okay. Just, do you have anyone different than D-Generation X? As TC put it in the chat.
Who's ever been booking main event lately has been really doing a good job.
So Paul, Triple H.
You know what? To be honest, when you look at the full year, January 1st to now, a lot of it has been AEW, Tony Khan. A lot of it, Forbidden Door, everything they've done with Full Gear, Fight for the Fallen. They've hit a lot. It's really not until the midway part of this year, November, that the DX group has really put WWE on the map. But me personally, I'm gonna go with DX. Plain and simple, it's DX.
With this motherfucker, he pulled a Benji swerve on this.
Okay, I agree with half of what you said. And it was the second half of the year, except all year. All right. So again, I told you guys I have a hard time with this. So I think
mine was NXT.
Hers was NXT. I asked, and she's like, "No, she's with me." So
yeah,
we handled that. Best production of the year, best pay-per-view of the year. Rhea won the Rumble. Cody won the Rumble. At that point, we didn't know Cody was going to fail. I was so hyped for this year's Royal Rumble and everything that we had, the Final Fours and both the men's and women's matches, everything building up to it.
I was in the Final Four, by the way.
I am going to go with Royal Rumble as my favorite because it's my favorite pay-per-view of pretty much every year, but also with the winners and what we got has been my favorite pay-per-view of the year. I know it may not have had the best matches, blah, 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 and you guys may have your own criteria. I don't remember any of the other matches besides the Royal Rumble, and if it wasn't this, it would have been Survivor Series because it's fresh in my mind and I remember what the fuck happened. So
fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah. Those good points.
Katie, best production of the year.
So this was hard because, like Matt, I don't remember anything that has happened this year because my brain doesn't work, and there's been so much that's happened this year. Because I was there, Payback. I mean, I got a street. Fuck off. Because I got my street fight, I got Kevin and Sammy in Penguin jerseys, I got Shinsuke and Seth beating the hell out of each other, I got that steel cage, I got good matches, I got Cena and LA Knight interacting, that was great, but I was there, so like it's that because I was there, and then watching, it was hard, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to Stand and Deliver.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like thinking
the
about it.
Literal last PLE.
No.
Yeah. That was the last
Deadline was the last PLE.
Yeah. Stand and Deliver was their Mania.
Oh,
that was like their first. I was thinking
I know what you're saying. Deadline as You know what?
You mean like the last
Vince's
okay,
joke
I know
neither
what you're saying.
stood
You're going
nor
back.
delivered
I know
there.
what you
Nice
mean.
try,
I know
though.
what you mean, bro. I got what you mean. I know what you mean.
It's like the
Um,
telepathy.
I mean, I almost went Mania because Mania and Rio won. I almost went Backlash because Bad Bunny, but Stand and Deliver just like hit a bunch of different cylinders for me, and like that's where Mello won the title, and the family was in the tag match, and they should have won, and it was like I was just getting little bits and pieces here and there, and it's the best pay-per-view PLE that NXT can put on, because Deadline was definitely a hell of a show, but Stand there's just like it's got that Mania aura to it, you know.
I couldn't tell you what was on Stand Deliver, and we did a trivia show about Stand Deliver, and I couldn't answer any of those questions. No, but Stand Deliver, I mean, NXT is putting on fantastic shows, to be honest with you. Like, it's getting back to, like, it's not takeover level still, but it's getting back there. It's getting back to that like early NXT takeovers. That's where it's getting at right now.
Okay. Just
Overall, when I look at the pay-per-view, you know, I mean, yes, Wallop, that was like the best match on that card, but the whole card was kind of like tough to get through. But I have to say, Backlash in Puerto Rico, the best one, production-wise, from top to bottom. Even the pre-show, the way that they were there outside and all those people were out there. You know, Dominic was out there interacting with the crowd, Damian Priest, Bad Bunny. From top to bottom, that whole production and all the matches were great. I mean, still one of the most memorable like PLEs of this year, and that was like February.
It's probably the best entrance of the year with Bad Bunny coming out to Chambea instead of Booker T as his theme song.
Right.
The whole crowd singing his song, that was more hot than anything Chris Jericho's ever tried to do with Judas.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you, until you guys said that it was Backlash in Puerto Rico, I completely forgot that both Backlash and in Puerto Rico and all of that happened, like completely blanked out of my mind. Wasn't a thing until I'm like, oh yeah, that was the thing that happened this year, and it was really cool. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
It had
the ovation that Selena Vega got too, you know. So.
Yeah, no, it was a great show. It I had Backlash as one of my contenders. It had a little bit of everything. Like I said, like the Puerto Rico environment really helped out. Like that's the Puerto Rico street fight between Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, fantastic. The main event was the only thing is that it had Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. If they had swapped things around, I could have given it more of a consideration for like pay-per-view of the year Backlash. That is,
didn't Cody beat Brock?
No, it's the placement of the main event. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest should have main evented.
I disagree.
We can disagree. That's perfectly fine.
I think we already had this conversation months ago.
But yeah, no, it had a lot of good things.
What was your other pay-per-view?
Yeah, I was gonna go ahead and just, I mean, come on, Survivor Series War Games. 2 War Games matches. You had 2 Mexicans uplifting each other in Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. You had the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time versus the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time in Gunther versus Miz. You also had Rhea Mommy Ripley putting on a great performance against Las Vegas' own Zoe Stark, who could be considered like a breakout star nod because she had like up until that point got into a nice little run there, but then she's like cooled down a bit again. Obviously, the return of Randy Orton, both War Game matches, Dirty Dom Mysterio being locked up a few feet away from me and not being able to do anything about it. And then CM Punk returning. I was like, obviously I'm biased. I was there live in attendance. I was right in front of all the wrestlers that were in War Games. I got to touch Sami Zayn's titty. I got to like high five and shake hands with Randy Orton. And then I also touched CM Punk's nipple too. So, you know, it was, you can't really top that, you know.
How do you top a pay-per-view where you got to grab multiple titties?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hoping consensual events.
Like I said,
that was going to be my because recency bias, also Chicago bias, also Punk's return, Randy, all that. Like it was really good shit. Now we get to talk a little bit about what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. This podcast, this show, and like I said, one of our favorite things is coming up with titles for the show. So I'm going to read you guys the titles that we have come up with this year before we get into what are we during to tell you?
Most out of pocket moment of the year.
All right. We've got girl bosses, snowballing and anal beads, collective chatgasm, golden showers, team fire crotch, Royal Rumble rebound.
That's a good one.
I don't think I was on that show. Finger popping off, lotion in the basket, post-traumatic sex dungeon, bumping pretties.
I like that one.
Freedom and daddy issues. Riho came strapped. Clash of the Cakes.
That's one.
Got MILF. Brody loads explodes. Bang Bang Twins. Trunk match. Smash or pass. Devil's three-way. Katie swallows everything.
Please don't say it like that.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Oh, I love that one.
Like those go hand in hand.
50 Shades of Samoan. Stunt cheeks. Double stuffed Oreo. Shout out to Young Kings Wrestling.
Love that
Oh,
one.
yeah, was that
Pull the
episode?
demon out. Fire and desire with the Y's this time. This is Sparta. Stan's magic hammer. Birthdays, anniversaries, spits and swallows. Mommy is always on top. Can you last 5 minutes? Deuces, ooses. Vince, is it Tijerame, Papi?
Dijérame, papi.
I think that's what I said.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Let me in. Brokeback champ. Finger in the bum. MILF Hunter. Hashtag Ritter over Riddle.
That was a contender. That's a contender.
Winnipeggers.
I forgot about Winnipeggers.
The Great Cake Debate.
Oh, man.
Choke that big load down.
Jesus Christ.
Katie's Takeover. Swallowing Havoc. Swallowing Havoc 2. Fist Me NXT. Confirmed Spitter. I just missed my pants. Daddy's back. And Yeehaw Bitch.
Yes, TC, that is the On Pyro episode.
Yes, that is the On Pyro episode. That is correct.
We don't have to talk
Oh,
about
my
that.
God.
I already have my list
Okay, Katie, go ahead.
because I did my homework and I looked at all of these and I have a list. In no particular order, I have Winnipeggers because it's very fun to say.
Mm-hmm.
I have Yeehaw Bitch because it's also very fun to say. Mommy's always on top because, yes, sir, she always is. Katie's Takeover because that was the first and only time I've hosted this show. And yeah, it was a time.
It was a great show.
Debatable. Brody Loads Explodes because I love a good rhyme scheme. Devil's Three-Way. 50 Shades of Samoan. And just because Fire and Desire.
Okay. On my list, I've got Collective Chatgasm. That was the roast of Vince. That is one of my favorite episodes that we have done this year.
Oh, man.
I've also got Finger in the Bum just because Katie hated that we did that.
I still can't believe that happened.
And Freedom and Daddy Issues are my three favorites.
That's a personal attack, and I don't like that.
No, I'm sorry. It's all personal attacks because my fourth and honestly probably my favorite is Katie Swallows Everything.
That episode was me, you, and Tim, I think.
Yeah.
It
So
was a good week of wrestling. I don't know.
Freedom and Daddy Issues. Katie Swallows Everything. Collective Chatgasm. And Finger in the Bum.
Right?
Yeah.
Just what do you got?
It's the finger in the bum, Winnipeggers. Pull the demon out. Did anyone say that? No.
Oh my god, that's such
That's-
a great one.
It was just like what? And then I have to say Smash or Pass because I was on that one. I think I was on that one with Ivan from Circle of Debate.
I believe you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the one where the chat was going wild for Vince.
No,
That was the collective
that-
jackasm.
Was that the collective chat yet? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Speaking of
wasn't on that
Vince,
episode.
Vince, go ahead.
I have a few contenders as well. I also wrote down collective chatgasm because I was a trooper, right? That was honestly one of the most fun experiences, even though I was on the butt of the joke. Dijérame papi, because of Will,
Yes.
he was on the show.
Yes. That was good.
Couple of cake episodes. You have the Clash of the Cakes. Then you also have the Great Cake Debates. So I like those. I like cake. I'm a pastry man myself. Pull the Demon Out. I love that one. I thought that was like one of the first ones that just like popped me when I reread them. Winnipeggers is my all-time favorite. And then I gotta give some love to Got MILF because that is the most watched episode and thumbnail that I made this year with that title.
Nice.
It's gotten the most
Nice.
views. But my all-time favorite is Winnipeggers because that shit just rolls off the tongue, man.
All right. And now is the time where we turn it around for all of you listening and give a shout out to all of the great guests that we have had this year. Now, mind you, we backed away from guests a little bit this year. We didn't go as hard as we did last year, but we do have a bunch of great guests. We kicked off the year with Willow Raven, who was absolutely fantastic and a joy. And I hope we can figure something out and get her back on sometime soon. Pretty Kyle, who has been on 2, if not 3 times this year. I believe 3 times this year.
He was
He was
on
on the last
last
one.
week's episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He was on last week's
episode.
episode. Love us the apron bump.
Shout out.
I have to take this time. I doubt they're still watching, but if they're here, I have to thank Will and Allison because whether it is Smackin It Raw or it is Getting Off, if Vince is not available, if Katie's not available, if it's anything Creation World related, either or both of them have always been there to fill in. If I could nominate honorary new members to the cafeteria, I would. Will has become a part of another chat that we have for Getting Off, the core 4, even now there's
Shout out.
6 of us in there technically now.
6 of us in there.
They've been there for all of it, and they've shown up whenever I've needed them, and I try to do the same for them, whether it's in the chat supporting us or on the show helping us create great content. They've been great for that. My favorite ginger without a soul, Daniel Bakley from Cage My IQ. The man himself below me, just multiple episodes, including one with our girl Jizzy.
That's right.
We had Lechon Diaries on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
We had the debut of Circle of Debate. Ivan
Yes.
came and joined us. We talked
I
about
love
that.
Ivan.
Tim King rolled through and hung out with me and Katie a couple times this year in that sexy, raspy voice.
Tim is my J from Getcho. I never am on an episode with Tim on. It's like he avoids me.
We have to shout out our boys at Young Kings Wrestling. TC and Reek, it's nothing but love. You guys have been there again, the cafeteria down since day 1-ish, like always. And we got to have you both on. Double stuffed Oreo. Me and Katie were the filling. It was a great time.
Good time though.
It was really a great time.
Oh, yeah. It was a time. That
Oh,
last
I mean,
5 minutes.
where was
That
it
last
fun?
5 minutes was a time.
That chat was on some shit.
They were on you.
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to have him on as much as I would like this year because he has date nights on Saturdays, so it doesn't really work out with our new schedule. But we did get Mr. Warren Hayes.
Yeah.
We did get Warren this year, and hopefully we can work something out and get him back next year. Also, from Public Enemies, making her debut on the show, hanging out with me and Katie. Shout out to all Elite Geeks for coming through. Listen, when it comes to somebody coming on, doing their homework, knowing what the show is, and really getting into it, first time, nobody was as awesome at that as Keeks was. She knew exactly what we were doing. She was all about it. She had a good time, and I appreciate the shit out of that. Joining us for our special Bray Wyatt tribute over there from Off the Top Media was Shadow. Big Bray Wyatt fan as all, came and helped as well, and came and helped us celebrate the life of Bray Wyatt in his passing. That's a very special episode in my heart. Fellow Chicagoan Tino came through, made his debut this year as well.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah, so if it's not out, oh, there we go. I don't know if it's out yet. So if it's not out yet, I'm not going to say anything, but you guys should probably go watch the latest and greatest episodes of Wednesday Night Wallop, including their next trivia night, to see who might be on that.
Yeah.
Wrestle Quizdom.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they said it was going to be releasing on the 23rd or the 24th of this year.
So when that comes, check it out to see who played, who won, how it all went down. But while you're waiting to do that, you can go check out Winnipeggers with my boys Wednesday Night Wallop.
Yeah.
We had a blast with them last year. We had a blast with them this year. I've got to hang out with them 3 times this year, so I went from 1 to 3. That tells you how much we love our boys up in Winnipeg. And then last but not least, the Will Gray's Vince Delgado, Jax Bow, made his debut on the Smackin' It Raw podcast this year. We had him on Getting Off. We had him on Smackin' It Raw. We love us some Jax Bow, the Ginger Ninja. Happy to have him.
Jax Bow.
Katie, who was your favorite guest we had?
So aside from the usual suspects, because it's obviously like the calf, shout out, like Just, Rick DC, Allison, Will, like the people we see all the time and interact with all the time. I'm not gonna pick any of them because we do interact with them so much. I mean, Willow, I also had her on Inside the Mind of. She was phenomenal. She was so easy to talk to. She had fun. She brought an energy to it, and it was awesome to work with her. And then Ollie Lee Cakes, again, she killed it. She had a blast. She knew what she was doing. A lot of people say they watch the show and don't know what the fuck they're talking about and don't know what they're doing. She did. She came prepared. She knew what was going on.
She came through.
And she's just also just really fun to talk to, because again, also had her on my Inside the Mind of stuff I did. And she's just really fun to talk to, really easy to talk to, great conversations, can laugh at herself if she needs to. And there wasn't a lot of women. I'm always here, but having women on the show is always fun because I'm not surrounded by this bullshit all the time.
You mean the Chicago Meatpacking District?
I wasn't gonna say it.
I thought she was singling me out personally. I'm like,
no,
damn.
she was. You're above her, but the around the world was around the world.
She made all this sausage.
Yeah, all the fucking sausage factory.
All the Vienna sausage factory.
Vince, who was your favorite guest we had on this year?
Before I say my pick, I want to give shout outs to our boy Just. Love him, fellow Get Yo podcast affiliate member, brother. The Palace, got to give a shout out to the Palace, TC Fontaine, aka TCF baby. Please say the baby. And of course, Wreak Havoc. Love those guys. I also want to give a shout out to Botch Spots and Chair Shots with Will and Allison. Love them over there as well. Jizzy was on here as well. Shout out to them. Shout out to everyone that's been a part of the show, Apron Bump, what have you. But I think my favorite. Also, shout out to Don from Powerbomb Jutsu. Love a good powerbomb. And but I'm gonna give it to our friendly neighborhood Winnipeggers in the Wallop Media Boys in Ryland and Cal. Love them. They always fit the vibe. It's very hard to find people outside the cafeteria that just come in, like you guys were talking about with Keeks. They came in, and it's always just so fun doing that show. Yeah. I got a chance to Ashley be on that collaboration because I can't remember. Like, you guys can't remember what pay-per-views matches happened. I can't remember if I was on these episodes with the collabs. Most often than not, I wasn't on the episode, so it was you and Katie. So based off of my personal experience, I gotta give it to the Wallop boys. Them Wallop boys.
Just whether it was a show you were on with us, if you want to plug yourself, or I know you listen. What's your favorite collab that we did this year?
It's hard. It's hard because everyone, almost everyone, fits the mold and they have a good time and they know the criteria. But I have to say, for someone who hasn't been on the show, and I think that was their first time, and the first time was with me, I got to give it up to Ivan from Circle of Debate.
Yeah, shout out to Ivan.
Yeah, shout out to Theo. So, but he fit in right with what we were doing and then all the topics, and I think we did like Smash or Pass, which was kind of something new at that time too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he went with it, and he did a good job. I thought we got definitely want to see him on here again. But if I have to give another honorable mention, I have to give up to the Walla Boys.
Yeah.
They also been on here multiple times and they just fit the mold the same way. And I also got to give a little bit personal thank you to them too, because when we first started as Getcho, they gave us one of our first collabs when nobody really shouted us out. So I got to give it up to them too.
That I didn't know. I guess I need to brush up on Getcho history.
Us and Wallop, we go way back. So
it's really hard to pick for me. But I think just because I miss her so very much, she's not really podcasting anymore. But in that first year that I was doing it, the fact that I got to meet her in person, the fact that she made time, even though she doesn't really do this anymore, to come back. I think my favorite had to have been Jizzy, getting her back on the show. One of my favorite episodes was me and her sitting down when I didn't have a co-host the very first time, when I was like really starting to get into collabs. To get her back with Just, I missed having Jizzy, talking shit with Jizzy in the way that we used to. So that one, and then we talked Willow, we talked All Eat Geeks, we talked Wednesday Night Wallop, all great. Double Stuffed Oreo is my favorite episode we did this year, hands fucking down. So there's that. If you don't know why, go listen to Double Stuffed Oreo. All right. It was off the wall. It was ridiculous. Also, someone that we didn't mention that I think deserves a shout out is occasional guest, The Rack, who's made quite a few appearances via popular demand this year. Mind you, from the chat, not from me. The people in the chat loved The Rack.
The people wanted The Rack. The
Rack showed up, showed out, did his thing. So there's that as well. All right.
Thanks.
Last segment of the show. Let's get into this. It is the great cake debate of 2023. Best ass in wrestling. I look, he was gonna get sad if nobody said our episode.
TC, we loved that episode.
It is my favorite
I just got
episode.
a little bit traumatized.
Yeah,
I just got a little traumatized. That's all.
Best ass in wrestling. So these are my nominees for 2023. You guys can all have your own, and then we can kind of debate and see where we're at. Sky Blue.
Yes.
Good nominee.
Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
Tony Storm.
Yes.
Anna Jay.
Yeah.
Kaden Carter, who I don't think gets the love she deserves.
Oh, yeah.
Kira Hogan is absolutely on that list. Lash Legend. Gigi Dolan. Bailey.
Yes.
Chris Statlander.
Yes.
Lola Vice. And Elektra Lopez.
I was trying to write them down as you were going, but you kept listing them so fast, I stopped. It just kind of stopped. Pamela Martinez. That's a good pick right there.
Bailey's on the list.
Grand Slam Pam.
Katie, did you have anyone I didn't mention, or maybe any dudes you want to throw in the contention?
Do I want to throw dudes in? Well, my two, Rhea, of course. Just come on. Jesus Christ. And War Daddy. Come on now.
Okay.
How dare you disrespect my mans like that?
I love Nia Jax. I don't know if I put her in best ass category though.
Nah.
Just you got any extra nominees.
That's okay because like TC, I'm putting Nia Jax in there.
maybe?
I'm putting Nia Jax in there, and just like
Yes,
TC,
yes,
I was just gonna say Trinity too.
Yep.
I was gonna say
Trin,
Trinity too. How could you not leave her out? Trinity, man. Oh my god. You know,
Vince won't take his shirt off or show us his ass, so I don't know what either looks like.
and just like you, Matt, everyone that you listed is basically on my same list. But I also have to add, she still got it. Trish Stratus.
Oh,
Trish Stratus still got it. Older berry, sweeter than juice. I'll take it.
Quick shout out to Mickey
I
James.
hear you.
Yeah, Mickey James. Mickey James.
Yeah.
Hey, Jackson, true.
Vince, you got anything to add?
Well, you guys
Tasha Steelz.
You guys kind of like touched on all of them. You know, Kira Hogan, Sky Blue, Tony Storm, Anna Jay. Over in the WWE side of things, obviously,
You said Cora Jade. We say Cora Jade.
No, we did not.
We did not say we did.
I did not have Cora Jade there. Like Bailey, Gigi, Lash, Kaden.
Muffin.
Honorable mention.
Yeah. I gave an honorable mention already to Titus. But I'm gonna give it to Mommy Rhea Ripley, and that's not my personal. That's my personal bias, but that's also Melissa's personal bias because she is slowly falling in love with Rhea Ripley, and the one of my favorite moments of the whole event was when Rhea came out and she walked away, and she also busted out the assless chaps, unlike Hangman Page. But as she walked away, I heard an audible from Melissa, and she's like, "Damn!" Like Melissa was out there, and she's like,
"Look how thick that is."
Exactly.
Look how thick that is.
I saw that in person. Rhea Ripley, she's Mommy for a reason. She's best ass of the year.
Oh, I have another nominee. I forgot.
Go ahead.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah, that's a good one.
We're doing men's. We're doing men's.
Right? I said we could do men, women.
We objectify women on the show enough. Women or men can get objectified too.
No, okay. First off, slow down. That's not what I was saying. I was saying I thought because Matt went with the women first, and I thought we are gonna do the men separate.
No.
He doesn't have a list for the
best ass is
That's
best
my
ass.
job.
Oh, best ass. Okay. All right.
I feel like it'd be remiss if we didn't mention the one Billy Gunn. He is Mr. Ass.
That's true.
True.
He doesn't have the best ass though. He doesn't have the best.
It's good.
He is
muscular
Mr.
Ass.
He's
a muscular.
I know you guys don't really watch TNA, but Joe Henry getting knocked.
Yeah, no,
the one. Yeah. Look up Joe Henry. I'm trying to think of who else. Just substituting the what?
JDF Memorial Sovereign Soundboard.
Yeah. Come on. I know.
All right. So, Josh, you got a couple guys you want to add real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Yeah, I mean, Titus O'Neil's one. I'm also gonna say a man who thinks he has an ass, but because I'm gonna say that he just tries. Goldust. Or Dustin Reynolds. He for years he's been wearing that bodysuit and thinking that he has an ass. And he just tries. I gotta give him a.
I put Cody on the list before I put Goldust on the list.
Oh yeah, Cody.
I ain't putting him on the list.
That's America's ass.
It's a couple. It's a little cuppable. It's a couple.
Cody Rhodes has America's ass.
That's John Cena. How dare you?
I do remember when Goldust wanted titties.
You know who's the name? You know who's a good name? Austin Theory.
Randy Orton.
Not ass though.
I'm surprised Carmelo Hayes didn't make the list, Katie.
Trick Williams.
I don't know. Carmelo, I'm looking more.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Explain.
Here's the thing, though. Katie had Rhea on her list. Vince had Rhea on his list at the top. Rhea was on my list. I mean, my personal pick, I'm not going to lie to you, it's Sky Blue. It has nothing. It has a little bit to do with Chicago, but honestly, it would have been. It really would have been Gigi Dolan, but she's really covered it up this year and gotten away from that. And Sky Blue has been letting it. I mean, it is all over the internet. She is letting it hang out. Everything.
Shout out to Scarlett. Yeah,
Scarlett too.
Oh,
But
Liv Morgan.
my personal pick would have been
I'm with
Sky
you.
Blue. However, Rhea's on my list. Rhea's on Vince's list. Rhea's on Katie's list. I know Justin loves mommy as well. I have a feeling if we have to give the award to best ass based on most votes, it is one Rhea Ripley.
Mommy
do I just
always
put Rhea
on
Ripley's
top.
ass
That's
as the
fucking
thumbnail?
why.
Step on me.
There
Please,
you go.
All right.
I beg.
Best ass 2023, mommy Rhea Ripley. I want to thank you guys for joining us, hanging out with us. Katie, please plug yourself for everyone for the last time in 2023.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, I'll be on getting off tomorrow, but yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, Katie Wrestling 13, the link to my about album She Showcase, twitch.tv/She Showcase, and youtube.com/She Showcase. Typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. This upcoming Thursday is our seasonal showcase, so we will be, talking about Christmassy things and all of that stuff. Because then we only have our showcase awards after that, and then we are done for the year, but we're still going anyways. And then patreon.com/She Showcase, where you can get exclusive non-wrestling content every month, except this month because Christmas, and I'm busy, and I'm tired, and I'm exhausted as a human being. So you're not getting anything this month, but you can pay for everything else that's up there. As for you, with Vince and Regan TC,
Yeah.
ghosts and dumb white people things with Matt, playlists with one half of the Yin Yang twins over here. It's a great time, so you can go check all that out.
Speaking of one half of the Yin Yang twins, one quarter, because listen, Charlie's not in Get Show anymore. I'm not in Get Show, and I'm kicking Charlie out. He's not.
Whoa.
He is more of an Apron Bump podcast member than he is a Get Show podcast member. He don't show up. He's getting kicked out, plain and simple. And this is also maybe a little bit of bias for the shit he talked earlier. So fuck Charlie, he's out. 1/4 of the Get Show podcast, 1/3 or 4th of Marks with Mike's, 1/2 of the Yin Yang twins. Just please plug everything you do.
Appreciate that. If you like what I said here and you enjoy my content, you can find me the Get Your Podcast on Twitter, Get Your Podcast on Instagram. If you can't find me there, you can find me on Thursdays with Marks and Mikes. But yeah, appreciate you guys, and this was dope.
All right, Vince.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SESVince. Link tree in my bio will take you to everything Get Show and Smackin It Raw. And every past episode of Straight Talk, even though now it's defunct. But I actually recorded something that was supposed to actually drop yesterday. Haven't gotten around to it. It will be dropping by the time you listen to this episode. Talking more Chicago Bulls basketball. I snuck in some basketball on the episode before we signed off. So go check out the epilogue or like whatever I fucking called it. But yeah, I hang out with Bosch and we talk more basketball. Yeah, fun time.
Yeah, here's on Vince tonight. I want to thank my guests from the Get Show podcast, Vince and Just, for joining us. You guys can follow me at Matt Ritter, at MATTRIDDER, or at Getting Off, both on X. Getting Off for your horror, Matt Ritter for your wrestling. Everywhere else on socials, TikTok, Sky Blue Sky. Close. Follow me on Sky Blue. TikTok, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads, all at Smackin It Raw. That'll get you a little bit of everything from me. You guys can follow everything Creation World at It's Creation World, ITSCREATIA, Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Also, creationworld.com is back. If you go there, it'll get you everything you need from Creation World. All the links to everything that we've talked about, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, Pornhub, Patreon, the links for all of our audio as well. Social medias, merch, everything is there. Again, my boys from the Get Show podcast, Vince and Just, thanks for joining me. Katie, my co-host, thank you for being here as always. For
I can stand you.
Daddy Delgado, the Pornhub Poppy, SES Vince, your boy Just, and Miss Katie Kinzy, baby. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been your #1 wrestling podcast in 2023 on Pornhub.
Let it
Go.